We have a vested interest in believing some things are true. Although we like to think about people as being liars or trustworthy, lying is actually quite ordinary. This is how ordinary it is. When two people meet, and this is through decades of research, each of them lies 3 times in the first 15 minutes.
I would recommend this to anybody and everybody. I think it's been incredibly helpful, incredibly informative. And Clark does a fantastic job of integrating what we talk about into the presentation.
His blinking seemed to increase when he was answering certain questions.
Yes, so there was a change in his blink rate.
Well, Clark's very entertaining. He's very funny. And I think because it's so fun, you retain the information better.
I was speaking to this women's lawyers group a few years ago, and I said, in my experience, I guess women just don't show contempt that much. Wow, they really laughed at that woman. It finally died down. They said, no, we know what the answer is. And I said, what is it? And they said, well, that's the way we women feel about all of you men all the time.
A judge listens to not just witnesses, but listens to the attorneys. And sometimes they try and flim-flam you a little bit. And I think this will help me evaluate the flim-flam factor.
That microexpression of emotion shows up 70% of the time, some type of microexpression of emotion when people are lying.
I think Clark's fantastic. I think he's great. I think I came in with maybe this perception that I was going to know how people are just going to lie or tell the truth. And what I found was that it seems more like an art in terms of trying to figure out whether someone's lying or not.
But his eyebrow, at least the one eyebrow we see, clearly goes up in a sign of agony, a complete contradiction to the idea that he's not too worried and he's given all of these reasons.
I definitely think I will be using a lot of the tools that Clark gave us to analyze what my clients are telling me, what witnesses are telling me, and definitely what opposing counsel is telling me, and probably much to my husband's chagrin, what he's telling me also.
The scientific evidence is very strong on the face. The scientific evidence related to the other clues is not as strong.
Actually, this is the second time I've taken a seminar. I just wish that I had done this much earlier in my career. If I had been able to have these techniques 27 years ago, I think my practice would be fundamentally different.
He actually has a subtle sign of anger. It's not in the eyebrows, it's not in his eyes, but it is showing up over here.
Anger is particularly difficult to pick up, and it's something that happens in mediations quite frequently. It's helpful for me to get a greater comfort level of the quality of the discussions that I'm having to find out how close I'm getting to the truth in situations, because it starts out one thing in the morning and gets closer and closer to the truth later in the afternoon.
One of the ways that people try to mask their negative emotions is by putting on a happy face. But people often like this can only pull it off in the bottom half of their face.
Clark Freshman is wonderful. I mean, I would highly recommend this seminar. It was amazing. I've read a lot of books on negotiation, and this just blows them away.
But what makes the whole task a little bit easier is you have multiple clues pointing in the same direction.
It's the best seminar I've been to in 20 years of practicing.